Look around you. Take a good look at the world you live in today. What do you see? You see a world that is addicted to noise, a world that is drowning in chatter. Everywhere you go, someone is talking. Everyone is posting. Everyone is screaming for attention. They are desperate to be seen, desperate to be heard, and desperate to be validated by strangers they will never meet. Society has sold you a lie. They have told you that the loudest person in the room is the leader. They have told you that if you want to be successful, you must put yourself out there. You must shout your accomplishments from the rooftops. You must broadcast every thought that enters your head. But look closer. Look at the people who actually hold power. Look at the people who actually control the outcome of the game. Are they the ones making the noise? No. True power does not scream. True power does not beg for attention. True power is silent. Think about the most dangerous animal in the jungle. The lion does not roar when it is hunting. The predator moves in absolute silence. It observes, it waits, it strikes only when it is necessary, and when it strikes, it is too late for the prey to react. Now think about the most powerful people in a high-stakes boardroom. They are rarely the ones talking the most. The person who talks the most is usually the one who is nervous. They are trying to prove something. They are insecure. The person who is silent, they are the one who is evaluating. They are the one making the final decision. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is a weapon. It is a shield that protects your thoughts, and it is a sword that cuts through the lies of others. In this audiobook, we are going to destroy the habit of overspeaking. We are going to install a new operating system in your mind. You have spent years giving away your power by opening your mouth too much. That ends today. By the end of this hour, you will understand why the less you say, the more your words will matter. You will learn how to use silence to win arguments, how to make people respect you instantly without raising your voice, and how to become a mystery that everyone wants to solve. You will learn the 12 rules of strategic silence. This is not just about being quiet. This is about becoming dangerous. Welcome to the art of silence. Chapter 1. The rule of observation. Why you miss everything. Let's start with a simple, brutal truth that most people ignore. You cannot learn while you are talking. It is physically impossible. When your mouth is open, your ears are closed. When you are busy thinking about what you are going to say next, or how to make a funny joke, or how to correct someone, you stop seeing what is actually happening in front of you. Most people walk through life blind. They enter a conversation and their ego immediately takes the steering wheel. They want to tell their story, they want to share their opinion, they want to show how smart they are. They are broadcasting a signal, but they are receiving nothing. But while they are busy broadcasting their own thoughts, they are missing the most valuable information in the room. Imagine two men entering a business meeting. Man A enters and immediately starts talking. He shakes hands, he makes loud jokes, he tells everyone about his weekend. When he starts pitching his idea before he even sits down. He feels good. He feels like the life of the party. He feels like he owns the room. Man B enters quietly. He nods. He sits back in his chair. He watches. Because Man B is silent, he notices things that Man A missed entirely. Man B notices that the boss looks tired and annoyed at the noise. He notices that the client keeps checking his watch, signaling he is in a rush. He notices that two people in the room seem to avoid eye contact, signaling a secret conflict. Man A is playing a game with his eyes closed. Man B is playing with his eyes wide open. This is the rule of observation. Information is the most valuable currency in the world, and the only way to gather information is to stop broadcasting and start receiving. When you are silent, you become a mirror. Here's a psychological fact. People are terrified of silence. In social situations, silence creates anxiety. People feel the need to fill the void. If you stay quiet and maintain eye contact, people will reveal everything to you. They will ramble. They will tell you their secrets, their fears, and their weaknesses. They will do this simply because they want to stop the silence. Let them fill it. Let them give you the data. The loud person reveals his cards immediately. He tells you what he wants, what he fears, and what he thinks. He makes himself predictable. The silent person reveals nothing. He is a black box. If you want to gain an advantage in any situation, whether it is a business deal, a date, or a conflict, you must talk less than the other person. Make this your rule. Let them speak 80% of the time. You speak 20% of the time. In that 20%, you do not give information. You ask questions, you guide them, you learn who they are. Stop trying to impress people with your words. Impress them with your attention. When you are silent, you are not passive. You are actively analyzing the chessboard. You are waiting for the right moment to make your move. From today onwards, practice this rule. When you enter a room, do not speak first. Wait, watch, listen. Let the environment reveal itself to you before you reveal yourself to the environment. You will be shocked at how much you have been missing. Chapter 2. The mystery factor. Become unpredictable. Have you ever noticed that the people who talk the most are often the most boring? Think about the open book personality. You know exactly what they think about politics. You know exactly what they did last weekend. You know their problems with their boss, their arguments with their partner, and their plans for the summer. They tell you everything within 5 minutes of meeting them. There is no mystery. There is no depth. And because there is no depth, there is no interest. Humans are wired to be curious. We are drawn to puzzles. We are drawn to things we cannot fully understand. When we see a locked door, we want to know what is behind it. When we see a dark cave, we wonder what is inside. When you talk constantly about yourself, you are unlocking every door and turning on every light. You are removing the mystery. You become common. You become predictable. And in the game of power and attraction, being predictable is a death sentence. The second rule of silence is the mystery factor. If you want people to think about you, you must give them less of you, not more. Imagine a man at a dinner party. He is dressed well, he is polite, but he says very little about his personal life. When someone asks him, "What do you do?" he gives a short, simple answer, and then turns the question back to them. He does not brag, he does not complain, he listens intensely, but he shares sparingly. When that man leaves the party, what happens? People start talking about him. Who was that guy? What is his story? He seemed very confident, didn't he? Their minds start to fill in the blanks because he gave them a blank canvas. They project their own ideas onto him. They assume he is successful. They assume he is intelligent. They assume he has high status. Why? Because high-status people do not need to prove themselves. The lion does not need to tell the jungle he is the king. He just walks, and the jungle knows. Silence signals confidence. It signals that you are comfortable in your own skin. It signals that you do not need the validation of strangers to feel good about yourself. On the other hand, oversharing signals insecurity. When you meet someone who talks non-stop about their achievements, their money, or their connections, you instinctively know they are lying. Or if they aren't lying, they are deeply insecure. They are begging you to like them. They are saying, "Please, look at me. Please, think I am important." It is weak. It is repulsive. From today, you must become a closed book. Stop telling everyone your plans. Stop posting every single thought on social media. Stop complaining about your problems to people who cannot help you solve them. When you are silent about your life, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. If your enemy knows exactly what you are thinking, they can manipulate you. If your competitors know exactly what your next move is, they can block you. If your friends know exactly what triggers your anger, They can control you. But if you are silent, if you are unreadable, they get nervous. They don't know where to attack. They don't know what you are planning. They start to overthink. They start to make mistakes because they are trying to guess your next move. And this is the essence of the mystery factor. You must learn to be comfortable with people not knowing everything about you. You might feel the urge to correct a wrong assumption. You might feel the urge to say, no, actually, I did this amazing thing. Suppress that urge, kill that ego, let them assume, let them wonder, let them guess. There is immense power in privacy. When you keep your goals to yourself, you build up internal pressure. That pressure becomes fuel. But when you talk about your goals, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to get in shape, you release that pressure. You get a cheap dopamine hit from the validation, and then you lose the drive to actually do the work. Silence protects your energy. Silence protects your plans. Silence builds your legend. Be the person who surprises everyone with results, not with announcements. Be the person whose actions are so loud that your words are not necessary. Become a ghost, become a shadow. Let your absence be felt more than your presence. Well, when you speak, let it be because you have something valuable to say, not because you are afraid of the quiet. If you can master this, if you can become comfortable being a mystery in a world of oversharers, you will find that people are drawn to you like moths to a flame. They will want to know your secret. They will want to know what lies behind the silence. And that is exactly where you want them. Chapter 3. Silence as a weapon, winning arguments without words. Conflict is inevitable. Whether it is in business, in relationships, or with strangers, people will test you, they will disrespect you, they will try to provoke you. Most people handle conflict like children. When someone raises their voice, they raise their voice back. When someone insults them, they insult them back. They think this is strength. They think they are standing up for themselves. But look closely at what is actually happening. When you react to an insult, you are handing the remote control of your emotions to your enemy. You are telling them, yes, your words have power over me. You have the ability to make me angry. You have the ability to ruin my day. Reacting is weakness. Reacting proves that you are easily manipulated. Now imagine a different scenario. Someone screams at you, they accuse you of something, they try to bait you into a fight. Their face is red, their veins are popping, they are waiting for your explosion, but you do not explode. You do not even defend yourself. You stand there, you look them directly in the eyes, you keep your face completely relaxed. And you say, absolutely nothing. What happens in that moment? And the dynamic shifts instantly. The person screaming suddenly feels foolish. They are throwing punches at a ghost. They are screaming at a stone wall. Their anger has nowhere to land, so it bounces back and hits them. They start to hear the echo of their own voice, and they realize how hysterical and weak they sound. This is the power of weaponized silence. In any argument, the person who speaks the least holds the most power. The person who is trying to explain themselves is the one who is losing. Let's look at this in a negotiation. This is a technique used by the highest level deal makers in the world. You make an offer. The other person says, "That's ridiculous, I can't accept that." Most people would panic. They would start talking. "Okay, well, maybe we can lower the price. Or maybe I can throw in some extras." You just lost. You negotiated against yourself. The master negotiator does something different. When the other person says, "That's ridiculous," the master negotiator stays silent. He looks at them calmly. He waits. The silence becomes uncomfortable. It becomes heavy. The other person starts to feel the pressure. They feel the need to fix the awkwardness, so they start talking again. "I mean, it's a good product, but the budget is tight. Maybe if you could just..."
Suddenly they are the ones negotiating against themselves. They are the ones making concessions, and you didn't say a single word. Silence creates a vacuum. Human beings are social creatures. We are terrified of the vacuum. We rush to fill it with words.
But if you can be the one person in the room who is comfortable with the vacuum, you can control any conversation. Use this in your personal life. When someone asks you a rude question, for example, why are you still single? Or how much money do you make? Do not answer. Do not get angry. Just look at them. Hold the eye contact for 3 to 4 seconds. Let the silence hang in the air. That silence says more than 1,000 words. It says, that was a stupid question and you should be embarrassed for asking it. Usually they will break eye contact. They will look down. They will stutter. I was just joking. You won the interaction without firing a single shot. This requires immense self-control. Your instinct will be to defend yourself. Your ego will want to scream, I am right, you are wrong. You must kill that instinct. And the next time you are in an argument, try this experiment. Stop talking. Let the other person run out of energy. Let them scream until they are tired. Watch them unravel. When they are finally finished and they look at you waiting for your reaction, simply ask a calm question. Are you finished? That is the ultimate power move. It shows that you were never threatened. It shows that you are the adult in the room. Silence is not passive. It is aggressive. It is a mirror that forces people to look at their own behavior. When you argue, you drag yourself down to their level. When you are silent, you remain above them. Do not waste your words on people who do not listen. Do not cast pearls before swine. If you know you are right, you do not need to prove it. The truth does not need to be shouted. The truth simply is. From now on, when the storm comes, be the mountain. Let the wind blow. Let the rain fall. The mountain does not move. The mountain does not argue with the storm. And eventually, the storm runs out of rain. But the mountain is still standing. Chapter 4. The 3-second pause, controlling conversations. Speed is the enemy of authority. Have you ever watched a nervous person answer a question? They start speaking before the other person has even finished the sentence. They are terrified of the gap. They are terrified that if they do not answer immediately, they will look stupid. They think that speed equals intelligence. They are wrong. Speed signals anxiety. Speed signals a lack of confidence. When you rush to answer, you are subconsciously telling the world, I need to prove myself to you right now. I hope my answer is good enough.
Please accept me. Now watch a king answer a question. Watch a CEO of a billion-dollar company. Watch a master interrogator. When they are asked a difficult question, they do not jump. They do not stutter. They do something very specific, something that makes everyone else in the room hold their breath. They pause. They look at the person who asked the question. They take a breath. They wait for 1, 2, 3 seconds. And then they speak. This is the 3-second pause. It is the simplest, most powerful tool in verbal communication, and almost nobody uses it. Why is this pause so powerful? First, it shows total control. Only a person who is completely comfortable in their own skin can endure 3 seconds of silence in a crowded room. It signals that you are not afraid of the other person's judgment.
You are operating on your own time, not theirs. You are the metronome of the conversation. Second, it implies deep thought. When you answer instantly, people assume you are giving a rehearsed answer. They assume you are just saying what you think they want to hear. But when you pause, you signal that you are actually considering their words. You are processing. You are treating the question with gravity. This makes your answer weigh 10 times more. Imagine 2 doctors. Dr. A walks in, looks at you for 1 second and says, "Take these pills, you'll be fine." You don't trust him. He didn't think about it. Dr. B walks in, he looks at your chart, he looks at you, he pauses for 5 seconds, rubbing his chin, he thinks, then he looks you in the eye and says, I believe the best course of action is this medicine. You trust Dr. B. Why? Because the silence proved he was thinking. The silence added value to his words. You must apply this to your life immediately. The next time you are in a job interview or a date or a negotiation, use the 3-second pause. When the interviewer asks, "What is your greatest weakness?" do not recite a script. Stop, look at them, count to 3 in your head. 1, 2, 3. Then deliver your answer slowly. The interviewer will lean in. They will feel a subconscious respect for you. They will think, this person is different. They are thoughtful. They are not desperate for this job. Desperation smells like speed. Power smells like patience. This technique also works as a filter for stupidity. How many times have you said something instantly, and then regretted it 10 seconds later? How many times have you agreed to a favor, or made a promise, or snapped at someone in anger simply because you reacted too fast? The 3-second pause gives your brain a chance to catch up with your mouth. In those 3 seconds, you can ask yourself, should I say this? Is this true? Is this helpful? Or should I stay silent? Those 3 seconds can save you from years of regret. They can save your marriage, they can save your career, but be warned, this will feel uncomfortable at first. Your brain will scream at you. Your brain will say something. Whatever you do, just make a noise. You must override that instinct. You must train yourself to tolerate the pressure. Start small. Tomorrow, when the barista asks what you want to order, pause for 2 seconds. And when your friend asks what you want to do for dinner, pause for 2 seconds. Feel the weight of the silence. Get comfortable with it. Make people wait for your words. When you make people wait, you increase the value of what you are about to say. Gold is valuable because it is rare. Water is cheap because it is everywhere. If your words are flowing constantly like a broken faucet, they are free. Nobody values them. But if your words come out like drops of gold, slowly and deliberately, people will collect them. They will remember them. Stop rushing. Stop running. Stop apologizing for taking up space and time. Take your time. It belongs to you. Chapter 5. Never explain yourself. The trap of validation. There is a disease that affects almost everyone, and it is the disease of the explanation. Watch what happens when someone makes a decision that others do not like. Let's say you decide to quit your job to start a business. Immediately, your friends and family surround you. Why would you do that? It's risky. What if you fail? Do you have a plan? And immediately you panic. You feel a deep, burning need to make them understand. You start talking fast. You show them your spreadsheets. You quote statistics. You tell them about your passion. You beg them to see your vision. You are explaining yourself. And in doing so, you are losing. Why do we do this? We do this because deep down we are still children. When we were children, we had to explain ourselves to authority figures. We had to explain to our parents why we broke the vase. And we had to explain to the teacher why we didn't do our homework. If we explained well enough, we avoided punishment. If we explained well enough, we were good. But you are not a child anymore. You are an adult. And in the world of adults, the person who explains the most holds the least power. When you explain yourself, you are subconsciously asking for permission. You are saying, I have made a decision, but I am not sure if it is the right one. Please tell me it is okay. Please validate me. You are handing your authority over to them. You are turning them into the judge and jury of your life. High-status people do not explain themselves. They state their decisions and they move on. Imagine a king sitting on his throne. He makes a decree. Does he turn to the peasants and say, well, I think this is a good idea because of X, Y,
and Z, and I hope you agree with me? No, he simply acts. His conviction is enough. If you want respect, you must kill the urge to justify your existence. This applies to everything. If you say no to a party invitation, do not say, I can't come because I have to work early and my car is broken and I'm really tired. That is weak. It invites them to argue with you. Oh, don't worry, we can pick you up. You can sleep later. Now you are trapped in a negotiation. Instead, simply say, I won't be able to make it. Why not? They ask. Oh, I have other plans. End of sentence, end of discussion. Notice the difference? The first person is begging to be let off the hook. The second person has unshakable boundaries. The explanation trap is dangerous because it assumes that if people just understood your reasons,
They would agree with you, but this is a lie. People usually don't want to understand you. They want to control you. They want you to fit into their box. When you explain yourself, you are giving them the tools to dismantle your decision. You are giving them ammunition to argue with you. If you say, I can't afford it, they will say, I'll lend you money. If you say, I don't have time, they will say, make time. But if you say nothing, if you simply stand by your decision without offering a reason, they hit a wall. They cannot argue with a wall. This is uncomfortable. I know. You are afraid of being misunderstood. You are afraid that if you don't explain, people will think you are rude or stupid or cold. Let them think what they want. Let them be wrong about you. The need to be understood is a weakness.
Means your internal compass is broken, so you are looking for an external compass. You need others to tell you where north is. But a man who knows where he is going does not need to ask for directions. A woman who knows her worth does not need to prove it to a room full of people who do not matter. Stop casting your pearls before swine. Stop trying to convince people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Your life is your own. Your choices are your own. The consequences, good or bad, are your own. You do not owe anyone a report. You do not owe anyone a justification. The next time someone demands an explanation for your life choices, why you are single, why you dress that way, why you follow a certain path, remember the power of silence. Smile. Look them in the eye.
And say, because that is what I decided. There is no higher authority than your own will over your own life. Do not apologize for it. Do not explain it. Own it. When you stop explaining, you start living. You leave the courtroom where you are the defendant, and you enter the throne room where you are the king. Stay silent. Stay strong. And let your results do the explaining for you. Chapter 6. Protecting your plans, the ghost strategy. There is a cemetery filled with dreams that never happened. If you walk through this cemetery, you will see tombstones that say, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Why did these dreams die? Did the people lack talent? Did they lack money? No, they died because they talked too much. There is a psychological trap that destroys more success than any other enemy. It is the trap of the premature announcement. Here is how it works. You have a great idea. You decide to change your life. You feel a rush of excitement. So what do? You pick up your phone, you call your friend, you post a status update. Big things coming, stay tuned. Finally starting my journey. In that exact moment, you have killed your motivation. Your brain is easily tricked. When you tell everyone, I am going to run a marathon, your brain releases a flood of dopamine. It gives you the reward before you have done the work. You feel the satisfaction of being a runner without taking a single step. The pressure is gone, the hunger is gone. You have already received the applause. Why would you go through the pain of training when you already got the validation? This is why the people who post the most about hustling are usually the ones who achieve the least. They are addicted to the announcement, not the result. But there is a darker reason to keep your mouth shut. Sabotage. You might believe that your friends and family want you to succeed. And on a surface level, perhaps they do, but deep down, human nature is driven by envy and fear. When you announce a big ambition, you are holding a mirror up to the people around you. You are reminding them of their own failures. You are reminding them that they settled for a mediocre life. Subconsciously, they do not want you to rise. If you rise, it means they are left behind. If you become rich, fit, and powerful, they have no excuse for staying poor, unhealthy, and weak. So what do? They sabotage you. They do it subtly. They say things like, "Are you sure that's a good idea? Don't work too hard. You need balance. Most businesses fail, you know. Why can't you just be happy with what you have?" These are not words of love. These are seeds of doubt. They are planting weeds in your garden before your flowers have even bloomed. If you tell them your plan, you give them the blueprint to destroy it. Sun Tzu, the great strategist, said, "Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt." This is the ghost strategy. To be a ghost means to disappear from the radar of others. It means to work in the shadows where nobody can see you, nobody can judge you, and nobody can stop you. When you are a ghost, you have no audience.
You have no applause. You only have the work. This is painful. It is lonely, but it is necessary. When you keep your goals entirely to yourself, you build up a massive internal pressure. You have all this energy, and because you aren't releasing it through talking, you are forced to release it through action. You work harder because nobody knows you are working. You have something to prove, but only to yourself. Imagine the power of showing up 6 months from now, completely transformed. You didn't post about the gym, you just show up, 30 pounds lighter and ripped. You didn't talk about your business idea, you just pull up in a new car, paid for by your profits. You didn't tell them you were studying, you just speak a new language fluently. The shock on their faces will be worth more than 1,000 likes on social media. And that shock is called respect. People respect results, they do not respect announcements. Announcements are cheap. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. But results cannot be argued with. From this moment on, put a seal on your lips regarding your future. If you are writing a book, tell nobody until it is published. If you are investing money, tell nobody until the returns are in your bank account. If you are planning to leave your job, tell nobody until you hand in your resignation letter. Do not give your enemies the location of your troops. Do not give the world a chance to vote on your life. Your life is not a democracy, it is a dictatorship, and you are the dictator. Operate in the dark, build in the dark, struggle in the dark, and let your success be the only noise you ever make.
So when the thunder strikes, everyone hears it. But by then, the storm has already arrived. Be the storm. Chapter 7. Emotional discipline. Silence in anger. Anger is a confession of weakness. Read that again. Anger is a confession of weakness. When you lose your temper, when you scream, when you slam doors, you are not displaying power. You are displaying that you have lost control. You are admitting that the situation has defeated you. You are admitting that another person has the ability to push your buttons and make you dance like a puppet. Society has tricked you into thinking that venting is good. They tell you to let it all out. They tell you that holding it in is dangerous. This is a lie designed to keep you weak. When you let it all out, you give away your dignity. You say things you cannot take back. Or you destroy relationships that took years to build in a matter of seconds. You look foolish, unstable, and childish. Think of the last time you saw a truly powerful person lose their mind in public. Maybe a boss screaming at an employee, or a partner screaming in a restaurant. Did you respect them? Did you think, wow, look how strong they are? No, you felt embarrassed for them. You lost respect for them. You thought they looked pathetic. Now contrast that with the person who remains calm in the face of disrespect. Imagine someone is yelling at a man. They are insulting him. They are trying to provoke a fight. The man stands there completely still. His face does not change. His breathing does not speed up. He looks at the angry person with a slight, detached curiosity, as if he is watching a child throw a tantrum. But who has the power in that situation? The calm man has all the power. The angry person is spending their energy looking like a fool, and the calm man is preserving his energy looking like a king. Silence is the ultimate counterattack to anger. When someone is angry at you, they are looking for fuel. They want you to yell back. They want a reaction. Fire needs oxygen to burn. Your reaction is the oxygen. If you stay silent, you cut off the oxygen supply. The fire has no choice but to die out. This is not easy. When you are attacked, your biology takes over. Your heart rate spikes. Your adrenaline floods your system. Your brain screams, "Fight! Defend yourself! Hurt them back!" This is the red mist. In this state, your IQ drops by 50 points. You become an animal. Emotional discipline is the ability to feel that rage, recognize it, and refuse to act on it. It is the ability to say to yourself, "I am angry right now. I want to destroy this person, but I will not do it. I will wait." Here is a rule that will save your life. The 24-hour rule. When you receive a disrespectful email, a nasty text message, or a rude comment online, do not reply immediately. Never. Write the angry response if you must. Scream it into a pillow. Write it in a draft folder, but do not press send. Wait 24 hours. When you come back to that draft the next day, after you have slept, after you have eaten, after the chemical storm in your brain has passed, you will read what you wrote and you will be horrified. You will think, "Thank God I didn't send that. I sound insane." You will realize that the insult wasn't actually that big of a deal. You will realize that the person who sent it is probably just having a bad day, or they are jealous, or they are irrelevant. With a cool head, you can craft a response that is professional, cold, and devastatingly effective. Or even better, you can decide that they are not worth a response at all. You cannot do this when you are hot. You can only do this when you are cold. Revenge is a dish best served cold for a reason. When you act in heat, you make mistakes. You leave fingerprints, you expose yourself. When you act in cold blood, you are precise, you are strategic, you win. Silence gives you the time to cool down. Silence buys you the advantage of clear thinking. Do not be a slave to your emotions. A dog barks at every car that passes. A lion sleeps through the storm. Be the lion. If you can master your temper,
you can master anything. If you can be the one person in the room who does not panic when things go wrong, people will naturally look to you for leadership. They will trust you because you are a rock in a chaotic world. So the next time you feel that fire rising in your chest, simply shut your mouth. Bite your tongue if you have to. Clench your fists under the table. Do whatever it takes to keep the seal on your lips. Let the moment pass. Let the anger fade. And then when you are clear, make your move. You will never regret silence, but you will almost certainly regret the words spoken in anger. Chapter 8, Reading the Room, the intelligence of listening. Information is the most valuable currency in the world. He who has the most information wins the war.
He who knows the secrets of his enemy can destroy him without lifting a finger. He who understands the hidden desires of his partner can build a relationship that lasts forever. But here is the problem. You cannot gather information while you are broadcasting it. When you are talking, you are giving away your position. You are telling the world who you are, what you want, and what you fear. You are a radio tower sending out a signal that everyone else can intercept. But when you are silent, you become a satellite dish. You stop transmitting and you start receiving. This brings us to the 8th rule, reading the room. Most people are socially blind. They enter a room, a party, a business meeting, a family gathering, and they only see the surface. They see people smiling, they see people shaking hands, they hear the polite conversation, but the silent observer sees the reality. While everyone else is busy thinking about what to say next, the silent observer is watching the subtext. He is reading the invisible lines of power and emotion that connect every person in the room. If you stay quiet and just watch, you will see things that are normally hidden. You will notice the nervous twitch in a man's hand when he is asked a specific question. You will notice the way a woman looks at her husband when he interrupts her, a look of annoyance that lasts only for a second. You will notice who is really in charge. It is often not the person sitting at the head of the table. It is the person that everyone else looks at before they speak. Here is a powerful psychological trick you can use immediately: the laughter test. When a group of people laughs at a joke, our instinct takes over. In that moment of vulnerability, people will instinctively look at the person they feel closest to or the person they want to impress the most. If you are the one talking and laughing, you miss this. But if you are the silent observer leaning back in your chair, you see the entire social map revealed in a single second. You see who loves who. You see who seeks approval from whom. You see the hidden alliances and the secret rivalries. You now possess knowledge that nobody else has. You know where the power lies. Silence also allows you to detect lies. Liars rely on distraction. They use words to create a smokescreen. They talk fast, they add unnecessary details, and they try to confuse you with complex stories. They want you to nod along. They want you to say, "Uh-huh, I see." But if you stay silent,
if you just look at them with a blank expression, the liar panics, the smokescreen doesn't work. They start to stutter. They start to contradict themselves. They feel the weight of your gaze and they crumble. A police interrogator does not scream at a suspect to get the truth. He sits there. He places a folder on the table. He stares and he waits. Eventually, the suspect breaks. The suspect starts talking just to end the silence, and in doing so, he confesses. By being the best listener in the room, you become the most dangerous person in the room. People will leave a conversation with you feeling like you are a genius, even if you only said 10 words. Why? Because you gave them the gift of being heard. Most people are starving for attention. They are desperate for someone to witness their lives. When you listen, truly listen.
you talk without interrupting, without checking your phone, without waiting for your turn to speak. You make them feel important. They will trust you. They will tell you things they shouldn't tell you. They will reveal their weaknesses. And you remain a fortress. You take their information, but you give none of your own. This is not about being manipulative. This is about being aware. The world is constantly trying to deceive you. Advertisers, politicians, toxic friends, even your own brain, they are all trying to sell you a story. If you are always talking, you buy the story. You get swept up in the emotion. You join the mob. But if you step back, if you detach, if you watch the room like a hawk watching a field of mice, you see the truth. You see the strings on the puppets. From now on, when you enter a new environment, treat it like a mission. Do not rush to introduce yourself. Do not rush to fill the silence. Stand back. Observe the feet. People point their feet toward the person they are most interested in. Observe the posture. Who is taking up space and who is shrinking? Observe the eyes. Who is holding contact and who is looking away? Collect the data. Build the map in your mind. Only when you understand the terrain should you make your move. The fool speaks first and thinks later. The master listens first, understands everything, and speaks only when victory is certain. Here is part 9 of the script covering chapter 9, the walk away power, when silence says it all. This chapter deals with the ultimate form of silence, total withdrawal. It is about the power of leaving a bad situation without a fight. Or chapter 9, the walk-away power when silence says it all. There is a fundamental law of power that applies to every single interaction in your life. Whether it is a business deal, a romantic relationship, or a friendship, this law is absolute. The person who is most willing to walk away holds all the power. Read that again. The person who needs the other person less is the one in control. Most people do not understand this. When they feel they are losing someone, they panic. When a partner pulls away, they chase. When a boss disrespects them, they argue, but they stay. When a client threatens to leave, they lower their price. They try to fix the situation with words. They beg. They negotiate. They send long text messages explaining their feelings. They ask for closure. This is weak. This is desperate. Or when you chase someone who is disrespecting you, you are telling them, "You are the prize. I am lucky to have you. Please do not leave me." You are inflating their ego and destroying your own value. But there is another way, a colder, darker, and infinitely more powerful way. The silent walk away. Imagine someone disrespects you. Maybe they cheated on you. Maybe they lied to you. Maybe they crossed a boundary that you explicitly set. The average person screams. They demand an apology. They want to hear, "I'm sorry." They want to have a final conversation to clear the air. The master does none of this. The master realizes that the disrespect was the message. The disrespect was the closure. So what does he do? He packs his bags, he blocks the number, he deletes the contact, and he vanishes. No final argument. No goodbye letter, no let's be friends. Just gone. Do you understand how terrifying this is to the other person? Human beings crave attention. Even negative attention is better than no attention. When you scream at someone, you are still giving them energy, you are still engaged with them. But when you walk away in total silence, you are treating them like they are dead. You are treating them like they never existed. This destroys them psychologically. They will start to panic. Why didn't he fight for me? Why didn't he get angry? Did I mean nothing to him? Their ego will collapse. They will start to chase you. They will send messages. They will try to get a reaction. They will try to bait you, but you must remain a ghost. This is the walk-away power. It is the ability to look at a bad deal, a bad relationship, or a bad situation, and simply decide, this is not for me, and then leave. You do not need to explain why you are leaving. You do not need to justify your standards. If you are negotiating a salary and they offer you too little, do not get angry. Do not complain about how hard you work. Simply say, "I appreciate the offer, but I cannot accept that number." Then be silent. Start packing your things. Watch how quickly their tone changes. Watch how quickly they find the money. Why? Because they realize you are not bluffing. They realize you are actually willing to walk out that door and never come back. The problem with most people is that they are terrified of being alone. They are terrified of losing the deal. They are terrified of the unknown. So they accept disrespect. They eat the crumbs that are thrown at them. And they stay in toxic situations because it's better than nothing. This is a slave mindset. A king does not beg for a seat at the table. If the table is not set to his standards, he builds his own table. You must develop the strength to be alone. You must love your own company so much that you would rather be alone than be with people who do not respect you. When you have this level of self-love, you become dangerous. You become unshakable. People can smell it on you. They can smell that you don't need them. And ironically, this makes them want you more. We want what we cannot control. We want the person who is just out of reach. So stop writing those paragraphs. Stop asking for explanations. Stop trying to make it work with people who are breaking you. The strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. And when the disrespect is served, do not eat it. Do not flip the table. Just stand up, turn around and walk into the silence. Your absence will teach them a lesson that your words never could. Chapter 10. Solitude versus loneliness. Building inner strength. There is a terrifying addiction that nobody talks about. It is not drugs, it is not alcohol. It is the addiction to other people. Look at how most people live. They cannot spend 5 minutes alone with their own thoughts. If they are eating alone, they must scroll on their phone. If they are driving alone, they must blast music. If they are sitting in a waiting room, they must text a friend. They are terrified of the silence. Why? Because in the silence you have to meet yourself. And for most people, meeting themselves is a nightmare. They do not like who they are. They are empty. And they use other people as a drug to numb that emptiness. This is the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a poverty of the self. It is a desperate craving. It is saying, I am not enough. I need someone else to make me feel whole. I need someone else to entertain me. Solitude is a richness of the self. It is a choice. It is saying, I enjoy my own company. I am whole on my own. I do not need anyone to validate my existence. The most powerful men and women in history, the great thinkers, the leaders, the artists, they all mastered the art of solitude. Why? Because you cannot hear your own inner voice when you are constantly surrounded by the noise of the crowd. The crowd is a hive mind. When you are with them, you think like them. You adopt their fears, their opinions, and their limits.
And you become average by osmosis. To become exceptional, you must withdraw. You must step away from the herd. Think of an eagle. You never see a flock of eagles. You see a flock of pigeons. You see a flock of sheep. But the eagle flies alone. The tiger hunts alone. This is not sad. This is strength. When you spend time in solitude, you recharge your mental battery. You clarify your vision. You ask yourself the hard questions. What do I actually want? Who am I actually becoming? You cannot answer these questions at a loud party. You cannot answer them while arguing in a comment section. You can only answer them in the quiet of your own room or on a long walk by yourself. If you are afraid of being alone, it is a sign that you are not building a life you are proud of. It is a sign that you are boring to yourself. So,
how do you fix this? You must detox from the addiction to validation. You must learn to date yourself. Go to a restaurant alone. Sit down. Order a meal. Do not pull out your phone. Just eat. Observe. Be present. At first, you will feel awkward. You will think everyone is looking at you. You will think they are judging you. Look at that loser, he has no friends. But then something magical happens. You realize nobody cares. You realize you are fine. You realize that you can enjoy a good steak and a glass of water without needing to entertain anyone. You will feel a surge of power. You are no longer dependent. If you need people, they have power over you. If you need a relationship to be happy, your partner holds your happiness hostage. If they leave, you crash. But if you are happy in solitude, if you are complete on your own, then a relationship is not a necessity, it is a luxury. It is a choice. You are not looking for a better half because you are not a half. You are a whole. This makes you incredibly attractive. People are drawn to those who do not need them. They are drawn to autonomy. When you are comfortable in silence, you become a magnet. People want to know what is going on in that fortress of a mind. They want to be invited into your world because your world seems stable, calm, and self-sufficient. Stop running from yourself. Stop filling every second of your day with noise. Schedule time for solitude, just like you schedule time for the gym. Take 30 minutes a day, no phone, no music, no talking, just you and your thoughts. Stare at a wall, write in a journal, look at the sky. It will be painful at first. Your brain will scream for stimulation. It will bring up old memories and anxieties. Let it scream. Sit through the discomfort. On the other side of that boredom is brilliance. On the other side of that loneliness is strength. You were born alone. You will die alone. The only relationship that is guaranteed to last for your entire life is the relationship you have with yourself. Make it a good one. Make your mind a place where you want to live, not a place you are trying to escape. Chapter 11. The Shadow Reputation. What people say when you are quiet. There is an old saying, "It is better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt." But I will take this further. It is better to remain silent and be thought a genius. Reputation is not built on what you say.
Reputation is built on what people think you know. Think about the most respected figure in your life. Maybe it is a grandfather, a mentor, or a historical figure. Do they talk non-stop? Do they gossip? Do they tell you every detail of their day? No, they have gravitas. Gravitas is weight. When a person has gravitas, their presence is heavy. They anchor the room. When they walk in, the energy shifts. They do not need to demand respect. Respect is given to them automatically. Why? Because they do not float away like a balloon filled with hot air. People who talk too much are light. They are flimsy. They change their opinions with the wind. You cannot trust them because they have no core. But the silent man, he is a mountain. You know that if you lean on him, he will not move. This creates a shadow reputation. When you are silent,
people start to create a mythology around you. Because you give them so little information, their brains have to fill in the gaps. And here is the secret. People always assume the silent person is smarter than they actually are. They think, he isn't saying anything, and he must be analyzing me. He must know something I don't know. You might be thinking about what you want for dinner, but to them, you look like you are calculating a grand strategy. Let them believe it. This is how you build an aura of competence. In a workplace, the person who complains the loudest is seen as a problem. The person who quietly delivers results is seen as a leader. In a social circle, the person who gossips is seen as entertainment. They are the clown. The person who listens and keeps secrets is seen as a confidant. They are the king. That is, your silence protects your competence. The moment you open your mouth, you expose your limitations. You show people what you don't know. You show them your anxieties. But as long as you are quiet, you are limitless. You are potential. Protect your reputation with silence. Do not be the person who is known for having an opinion on everything. Be the person whose opinion is sought after because it is rare. Be the person who speaks once and everyone shuts up to listen. That is the shadow reputation. It travels faster than you do. People will respect you before they even meet you, simply because they have heard that you are a man of few words and big actions. Chapter 12. The New Way of Living. Conclusion. We have reached the end of this journey. You have learned the 11 rules of silence. You have learned how to observe, how to be unpredictable, how to win arguments without words, and how to find strength in solitude. But knowledge is useless without action. Listening to this audiobook was the easy part. The hard part begins the moment this video ends. You are about to step back into a noisy world. You are going to walk out that door and be bombarded by people who want to steal your attention. Your phone will buzz, your friends will gossip, your boss will stress you out. The news will try to scare you. The temptation to join the noise will be overwhelming. You will feel the urge to argue. You will feel the urge to complain. You will feel the urge to explain yourself. Resist it. This is not a trick you use once. This is a new way of living. From this day forward, you are a different person. You are no longer the puppet that reacts to every string, or you are the master of the strings. I challenge you to try this for just 7 days. For the next week, cut your words in half. If you normally speak 1,000 words a day, speak 500. If you normally send 50 texts, send 10. If you normally argue, simply nod and look away. Watch what happens. Watch how people look at you differently. Watch how they get nervous around you. Watch how they start trying to impress you. And most importantly, watch how you feel inside. You will feel a new sense of calm. The anxiety will fade. The need for validation will die. You will feel heavy, grounded, and powerful. You will realize that you have been leaking energy for years, and now, finally, you are sealing the cracks. The world belongs to the silent. The world belongs to the observers. The world belongs to those who can control themselves when everyone else is losing control. Be the eye of the storm. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. Go now, step into the quiet, and let your life speak for itself. If you have made it to the very end of this video, you are part of the 1% who actually finish what they start. Most people clicked off in the first 5 minutes, but not you. You are serious about your transformation. Prove it. Scroll down to the comments right now and write these words: I am relentless. Make this your declaration. Let the world know that you are awake. Thank you for listening.